Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be reviewing neural cord stimulation devices. This is going to be for a class assignment, so quick disclaimer, I'm not being paid by any company, I haven't purchased this device myself, and I'm also not a medical professional. This review is purely for educational purposes. Let's dive in. So neural cord stimulation devices are also known as spinal cord stimulators, and they're used to manage chronic pain. The way they work is by sending electrical impulses to the spinal cord. So they're designed to reduce chronic pain, and based on various studies and patient feedback, they have shown significant effectiveness in alleviating pain and improving quality of life. The interesting part that I found was that patients report experiencing a tingling sensation instead of pain. So many of these stimulators are FDA approved. They're widely endorsed by pain management specialists, and they're used in clinical settings to help patients with chronic pain conditions. They can be quite expensive, however. They often cost between $15,000 to $50,000. Many insurance plans do cover part or all of the costs, especially if other treatments have failed for this patient. They're also generally safe when used correctly. There are potential risks, however, including infections or malfunction of the device or discomfort at the site of implantations. Some patients may also experience a lack of pain relief over time, which can require adjustment of the device or replacement of the device altogether. Numerous clinical trials have been conducted to evaluate the efficacy and safety of spinal cord stimulators, and studies show that up to 70% of patients experience significant pain relief. And also long-term studies indicate that sustained pain relief for many patients over several years. So yeah, that was all about spinal cord stimulators. I hope you enjoyed learning.
I'm Aditi, and today I'll be reviewing TouchPoints medical device. This video is for educational purposes only as part of an assignment and is not sponsored by any company. To start things off, what are TouchPoints? TouchPoints are a wearable device designed to reduce stress and anxiety. It works through bilateral alternating stimulation, or BAS, which involves gentle vibrations that can help calm the user's nervous system. Now, does TouchPoints actually do what it says it's going to do? According to the company, TouchPoints work by altering the body stress response with scientifically proven BLAST technology, or BLAST technology, which is bilateral alternating stimulation tactile. And this uses gentle alternating vibrations on each side of your body to shift your brain from default fight or flight response to your calm and in control response. And over time, TouchPoints retrains your body, creating new behavior patterns that lessens the negative impacts of stress. TouchPoints are non-invasive and safe for use by adults and kids to relieve stress without drugs or any side effects. Many users have reported positive experiences, feeling calmer and more focused when using the device. TouchPoints are constructed to be able to improve and be used by patients that have ADHD, autism, Parkinson's disease, insomnia, mental health issues, and concentration. However, individual results can vary. Is TouchPoints approved by the FDA or endorsed by any medical association? Currently, TouchPoints is not FDA approved for treating any medical condition. It is marketed as a general wellness device, and additionally, it does not have any endorsements from major medical associations. While this doesn't necessarily negate its effectiveness, it's important to be aware of its regulatory status. Now let's talk about affordability. TouchPoints are priced around $190 for a set. This might be considered expensive for some, but the company occasionally offers discounts and payment plans. So whether it's affordable depends on your budget and the value you place on potential stress relief. Are TouchPoints dangerous? From my research, the device appears to be safe for most people. It uses gentle vibrations, which are generally not harmful. TouchPoints have different models that the user can wear on any part of their body, whether it be on their wrist, clothing, backpack, socks, and even pockets. However, if you have a medical condition or are concerned about using such a product, it's always best to consult with a healthcare professional. And I was able to locate statistics of the original clinical trials of the device, and it supposedly proved to significantly decrease stress levels among users. And using data from trials showed that just within 30 seconds of using TouchPoints, people experienced a 70% reduction in their stress levels and a 68% reduction in body sensations related to stress. This data, combined with archive data, suggests that there is a consistency in offering users significant relief from physiological and psychological stress. The company created a study involving quantitative electroencephalogram data that clearly showed a reduction in brain wave activity in areas associated with anxiety using beta waves. There was also another study that showed the effect of bilateral alternating somatosensory stimulation on reducing stress-related cortisol. This triple-blind placebo-controlled trial with athletes showed touchpoints stabilized cortisol levels during stressful events that eventually reduced the level of stress points even when cortisol levels are traditionally spiked. In conclusion, touchpoints may offer benefits in stress and anxiety reduction, but it's not FDA approved and the clinical evidence is very limited. It might be worth trying if you can afford it and are looking for non-invasive stress relief. Then again, there is not much information about the science involved with using touchpoints, so the results may differ from person to person. As always, please consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new treatment. Thank you.
Autoinjectors are a medical device that delivers a dose of a certain drug and are used for self-administration or by medical professionals. A popular autoinjector is the EpiPen. It was created in the mid-1970s by Survival Technology, which is located in Bethesda, Maryland. The EpiPen and other similar devices like the Auvi-Q, Anapen, and Emerade are epinephrine autoinjectors, which is an adrenaline hormone for the treatment of anaphylaxis. Although the first EpiPen was created in the mid-1970s, the FDA did not approve of the first EpiPen until December 22, 1987. Before approval, there were many more casualties related to anaphylaxis, which is a potentially fatal allergic reaction, and the other uses for epinephrine like treating asthma attacks. The public relied on emergency medical care at hospitals and clinics when anaphylaxis and other reactions are quickly onset and need immediate treatment. The creation of epinephrine autoinjectors allows epinephrine to be portable and easily used by the public to properly and most effectively administer the drug. EpiPens are used by pressing the autoinjector to the outer thigh strong enough for the needle and medication to enter the body using the spring-loaded syringes. EpiPens are generally $650 to $750 for a pack of 2 autoinjectors without insurance, but can be covered fully by most name-brand insurances, and there's a wide availability of epinephrine autoinjectors that are not under the trademark name of EpiPen. Serious side effects from epinephrine are not common, and the most common side effects are palpitations of the heart, nausea, sweating, anxiety, and tremors, which is because of the adrenaline, which is epinephrine. These effects normally begin to wear off within 30 minutes to a few hours after using the EpiPen and are not fatal, making the EpiPen safe and can be used unnecessarily if needed. As someone who has used EpiPens and also forgotten to use them, I believe that they are a life-saving medical device, and even the act of carrying them around is stress relieving. Over the past decades, these devices have been made smaller and more easily usable by adding QR code instructions, audible cues for administration, and diagrams. Although I don't have an EpiPen here, I have an Auvi-Q, which is similar, and I would like to add as a disclaimer that no company is paying me or has given me this EpiPen. I just carry them around for my allergies, and this is for a class assignment to talk about autoinjectors. So this Auvi-Q, for example, has audible cues, and it also has diagrams on the outside, which make it extremely easy to use, and if I couldn't use it, somebody else from the public could. Here it is, for example.
If having an allergic emergency, pull red safety guard down and off of Auvi-Q.
There it is, for example. I personally believe that autoinjectors are very useful, and I'd rate them super highly because they are life-saving medical devices. Outside of epinephrine autoinjectors for allergies, there's naloxone, which is used for opioid overdoses, Sherclake for rheumatoid arthritis and anemia, and Ribaject for multiple sclerosis. And autoinjectors are also carried by people in the military and just in the public. These devices help individuals manage their health problems on their own and are life-saving and very easily usable and accessible. Although the price is high, insurance and off-brand versions of these injectors are great options and they can help save lives.
Hello, my name is Amulia Karur, and today I'm talking about an innovative product known as the NeuroLeaf Relivion. So, Just a disclaimer before I begin. I did not buy this product, and this is solely for the Improve Life PLLC internship. No company is paying me to make this video. So, the Neuraleve Relivian is a wearable headset, and it's designed to treat major depressive disorder. So, before I begin, what is major depressive disorder? It is a persistent feeling of sadness and loneliness for a span of 2 weeks or more. Now, going into the product. So, the Neuralife Relivian is a wearable headset designed to treat major depressive disorder in a non-invasive manner. And it does this by delivering mild electrical pulses through the occipital and trigeminal nerves, which then stimulates the release of neurotransmitters to help control mood. And it is equipped with a mobile app for remote monitoring and personalized treatments, which makes it convenient for users to manage their therapy from anywhere. So this device has undergone extensive testing, specifically through the MOOD study, spelled MOOD. So this is a clinical trial that has evaluated the safety and efficacy of the device and how its effectiveness was in treating major depressive disorder. So this study targeted mostly men and women between the ages of 18 and 70 and was conducted across 12 different countries, including 12 different clinical sites, including one in Israel. So in this clinical trial, participants were assessed starting from the baseline to the post-treatment initiation, and their progress was compared against a control group which did not respond to traditional depression medication. So in other words, the medication was not working out for this group. And the study used 2 different rating scales. One was the HDRS-17, and then another one was the MADRS, which stands for the Hamilton Depression Rating Scale, and the Montgomery-Ashburg Depression Rating Scale, to measure changes in depression. And remarkably, actually 90% of patients who had no reaction to the original depression medication that was prescribed actually showed significant improvement in their mood and in their depression ratings when using this device. So it is very effective and had significant improvements among the patients. And in terms of regulatory approval, the Neuralife Relivian has received the FDA's Breakthrough Device designation, which is only granted to special devices that specifically meet the rigorous standards for safety and effectiveness and have the potential to provide more effective treatment for life-threatening or irreversibly debilitating conditions. So this device is overall very cost-efficient and is available to patients for a 60-day trial at $150, which makes it cost-effective when compared to long-term pharmaceutical treatments. And this period allows users to see if the device meets the requirements and if they would like to continue further. A couple of risks are associated with this device, but it is fairly minimal. Sensations and problems such as headaches, nausea, dizziness, a few mild electrical sensations around the electrodes could occur, but these are generally reported to be mild and manageable symptoms or side effects of this device. So in summary, I would rate this device an 8 out of 10 for safety, effectiveness, and convenience, and it offers a promising and non-invasive treatment option for major depressive disorders with clinical trials that support its safety and efficacy. The FDA Breakthrough Device designation and its affordable trial cost and option make it an accessible option for many patients. But as always, it is important to consult with the healthcare provider before continuing on to using this treatment. So this is how the NeuroLife Relivian looks like, and through the sides of the device, the electrical impulses are delivered, and the intensity of that can be personalized in the user's mobile smartphone app, which is connected to the device. And with a one-to-one connection with whoever prescribed this device for them, such as their psychiatrist, they can discuss how to best personalize their treatment options to best meet their needs. Thank you.
What is Abilify MySight? Abilify MySight is a prescription smart pill with built-in technology the size of a grain of sand. Once the pill is swallowed, it comes with a patch which gets a signal from the smart pill. It logs information gathered from the pill, and it can track your moods, activities, rest, the quality of your rest, and what actions you should take. It typically prescribes coping methods like engaging with a family or friend, listening to music, deep breathing, or other stress coping methods. The Abilify pill balances the level of dopamine and serotonin in the brain to regulate mood behaviors and thoughts. It is an antipsychotic medication that helps treat mental health conditions such as schizophrenia, bipolar I disorder, autism spectrum disorder, and Tourette's. Although it is FDA approved, there are not any known medical endorsements. And although I do not own Abilify MySight pills, through my research, I found that Abilify MySight is safe because it is entirely made of common ingredients found in most diets and passes through the body naturally. However, it is not approved for dementia-related patients or adolescents and could be made dangerous if taken by these patients. During clinical trials for Abilify, the most common side effects were nausea, committing constipation, headache, dizziness, anxiety, insomnia, and restlessness. In a phase 3B clinical trial, the outpatients had schizophrenia, and they were 18 to 65 years old. They were broken into 3 groups: people who have stopped using Abilify MySight, people who have been using it intermittently for the past 3 months, and people who have been using it daily for the past 3 months. All 3 groups experienced higher symptom improvement before taking Abilify MySight, and the patients with higher use of Abilify MySight were shown to have a greater improvement in their clinical assessment versus participants who did not complete all 3 months of their Abilify MySight treatment, overall concluding that Abilify MySight was effective.
Hi, my name is Invita, and I'll be reviewing the Fisher-Wallace stimulator. This is for a class assignment, and I want to make it clear that no company is paying me for this review. The Fisher-Wallace stimulator is a cranial electrotherapy simulation, and it's designed to treat depression, anxiety, and insomnia. By doing so, it sends gentle electrical pulses to the brain to stimulate the production of serotonin and other neurochemicals. So, according to the manufacturer, the device can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety and improve sleep, as mentioned before, but I looked more into it to find out if it really does work, so I looked into various sources to find out. So I looked to find out if it was FDA approval or it had any endorsements, and the device is FDA cleared for the treatment of depression, anxiety, and insomnia. So this means it has undergone some testing for safety and efficacy. However, FDA clearance and FDA approval are not the same thing because FDA approval involves more rigorous testing. So it's only being cleared by the FDA but not approved yet. So I looked into its affordability, and the device costs around $500, but the good thing is that the effects don't wear off even if you wear it daily. But it's still a lot of money and it's not affordable for everyone, so there are payment plans available, but it's still a significant investment. In terms of safety, the device is generally considered safe for most people. However, it should not be used by individuals who have a history of seizures or have implanted medical devices such as pacemakers. So I was able to find some clinical trials and studies on the Fisher-Wallace stimulator, and the results are pretty mixed because some say that it has a positive effect on the treatments of depression and anxiety, while others state that more research is needed to confirm its effectiveness on the objectives of the device, which are depression, anxiety, and insomnia. So overall, the Fisher-Wallace stimulator is a promising device with FDA clearance for treating depression, anxiety, and improving your sleep, which has been mentioned throughout this review. And it might be worth trying if you can afford it and you haven't found relief with any of the treatments in the past or devices in the past. But always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new treatment. I would rate it a 5 out of 5, but since it's on the pricey side, I rate it a 4. But it is pretty effective, so it's still up there on the scale. Just another disclaimer that this review is for educational purposes only, and I am not a medical professional, so please do your own research and always consult with your healthcare provider, and thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Anya, and today I'm going to be talking about Holter monitors. Everything I'm going to be talking about today is based off research. I do not own nor have ever used a Holter monitor, and no company is paying me for this video. It is simply for a class assignment. So what exactly is a Holter monitor? Johns Hopkins Medicine describes a Holter monitor as a type of portable electrocardiogram, or ECG, which records the electrical activity of the heart over a longer span of time, usually 24 hours or longer, while a patient can go on living their day-to-day life while the recording is taking place. Holter monitors can be used for many reasons, but some of the most common are to detect irregular heartbeats and evaluate symptoms such as dizziness, fainting, shortness of breath, or chest pain. Clinical studies have shown that Holter monitors are effective in continuously recording heart activity, helping to diagnose arrhythmias and other cardiac abnormalities that may not be detected with a standard ECG. They are particularly useful for patients with intermittent symptoms such as palpitations. In a study in the AER journal focusing on patients with unexplained fainting, it was found that Holter monitors contributed to the diagnosis in up to 78% of cases within 1 year when traditional diagnostic tests had failed, showing that they could be a great diagnostic tool. These devices are approved by the FDA and are endorsed by medical organizations such as the American Heart Association, or AHA. Holter monitors are non-invasive and do not pose any significant risk to its user. The only possible risk is that electrode patches may cause skin irritation over time. The cost of Holter monitors can vary significantly based on the length of monitoring required, if the patient has insurance or not, and what healthcare facility the test is being conducted from. However, generally the cost for 24 hours of monitoring falls within the range of $150 to $500 without insurance, and usually less than $150 with insurance. Overall, I would give the Holter monitor a rating of 8 out of 10, as it is an accurate, reliable, and safe way to detect abnormalities and heart activity over time. It is non-invasive and does not affect day-to-day activities. However, Holter monitors can be an expensive option for individuals without insurance and who may need monitoring over a longer period of time. The readings of the monitor can also be affected by things like magnets, metal detectors, sweating, and electrical appliances used on a day-to-day basis, such as microwaves. Aside from these points, I believe that this device is a great option for patients and would highly recommend using it if recommended by a physician. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Carter. I'm going to be talking about the blood pressure cuff today. This is for a class assignment. No company is paying me to make this video. I borrowed this blood pressure machine right here from my mom. She checks her blood pressure weekly to monthly, and I found it laying around the house and asked her if I could use it. So a blood pressure cuff is a very essential device used to measure blood pressure. It's very helpful for those that need to check their blood pressure regularly. So if they have like bad history about blood pressure and they need like blood thinners, or even if they have long-term health effects. So about 5 minutes ago, I took my blood pressure. You probably can't see it very well here, but it's 118/65. That is very normal blood pressure. The goal is 120/80. Anything over that is going to be a little in the danger zone, and then it gets worse the higher you go. So in terms of buying a blood pressure cuff, you can find them relatively easily. You can go to Target, CVS, Walmart, any of your basic stores. They have them for probably $30 to $60. You can also go on Amazon, find the cheaper side. You can find something as low as $16 is what I found, and I saw an average being $30. This blood pressure machine here is probably $40. My mom got it at Target, definitely Target. 55% of people with hypertension own their own blood pressure cuff. So a lot of people own this across the entire world. Now, some of you may be wondering, is this blood pressure cuff safe? According to Harvard Health, by safe, the law means that the machine doesn't necessarily injure you when you take your blood pressure. A blood pressure provides you inaccurate reading can be unsafe in different ways. So if you say, oh my gosh, my blood pressure looks so high, it's irregular, that's not good. And what you're going to do to yourself is just take it over and over again, which is just going to give you more inaccurate readings, and it's going to make you nervous and bring your blood pressure even higher. So it's like, technically it is safe if it gives you good, accurate readings. Now, I say most blood pressure cuffs on the market as of right now are FDA approved, ensuring that they meet safety and efficiency standards. Okay, so the mistakes that happen are very rare, very unlikely, and it is very important to follow instructions based off of where you put it on yourself and if it's tight enough or if it's too loose. But 99.9% of the blood pressure cuffs that you buy in store are going to be FDA approved and very good to buy. Overall, I would rate the blood pressure cuff a 9.8 out of 10 for its effectiveness, affordability, and safety. I lose 0.2 points because of the ability to mess up the blood pressure to give you inaccurate readings, whether the blood pressure cuff itself is too loose, too tight, or even backwards. Owning a blood pressure cuff at home is a very worthwhile investment, and if you need to take it often, like weekly or even monthly like my mom does, I would suggest that it's a very good idea and it's a very safe option. Alrighty, I'm going to give you guys a free tutorial on how to put together blood pressure. So you have your cuff here. Make sure it's nice and loose. You're going to get it up on your arm here. You're going to just put it just above where the crease of your elbow is. You're going to tighten it, not too much. You want to leave around 2 fingers worth, so it's not too tight, not too loose. That means it's good. Make sure this is facing down and not backwards where this is facing up. And basically you just press start on this thing, and it will automatically take it. You just make sure you're relaxed, feet aren't crossed or anything like that. Or just like that, it's done. We got 116/68. That's how you do a blood pressure test.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Logan and I will be talking about the stethoscope today. What is a stethoscope? The stethoscope is a medical device used for auscultation. Auscultation is the process of listening to the sounds inside the body. The noises produced by the heart, lungs, or intestines, as well as the sound of blood flowing through the veins and arteries, can all be heard using the stethoscope. It can also be used to diagnose diseases such as pneumonia, tuberculosis, as a prefront. The modern stethoscope is made up of earpieces, the bell, which is placed on the chest of the patient, and the tube connecting the rest, which is usually made of rubber, silicone, or plastic. You can see here, I have my stethoscope. Let me see if I can show. This is the bell. These are the earpieces, and then this is like the rubber silicone tube that connects it. The stethoscope can be used with a manual sphygmomanometer, which is a cuff with a valve that goes around the arm or the leg in some circumstances to measure someone's blood pressure. Okay, so the history of the stethoscope. The stethoscope was invented by René Laennec at the Necker-Enfant Malades Hospital at Paris in the year 1816. Instead of physically putting his head onto patients' chests, especially females, he thought of a way to listen to the heart and lung sounds from afar. After creating the stethoscope, he made a huge discovery that the sounds of the thoracic cavity can be heard better through mediate auscultation rather than immediate auscultation. He named the stethoscope due to the Greek word stethos, meaning chest, and skopein, meaning to explore. So this is mediate auscultation, where he listens to it from afar. And this is immediate, where he directly puts his head onto the patient's chest. Okay, so here are some more facts about the stethoscope. The stethoscope is one of the cheapest medical devices that anyone can purchase. Prices range from $5, I listed it here, you can literally see it's less than $5, and some over $8,000, which can play back the cardiac rhythms or the lung sounds for you. It records and plays it back. In addition, it is very safe and very easy to use by everyone. You just put it on, and then put on the patient's chest or like someone's chest and you listen. And you need to be aware that on these types of stethoscopes, there's two types. You can adjust it by moving the switch forward or backwards, and then after you put it on, you just tap it to see if it's loud, and if it's loud, then you can hear it. You can see the links to both of these stethoscopes I listed on this PowerPoint on the next slide. Here are the references I used, and these are the links. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you all the best.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to be discussing an EKG monitor, and I want to specify by saying I've not been paid by any company to do so, and this is for a class assignment, and I have not purchased one myself. This is just information that I've gained. What is an EKG monitor? An EKG monitor is an electrocardiogram monitor, and it detects the electrical activity in your heart, and it can detect any irregularities in your heart, and it can be crucial for diagnosing various heart conditions. Overall, EKG monitors tend to be very accurate in detecting heart rate and heart rhythm, but it is very crucial that we take the readings from the EKG monitors and take it with medical advice and take it to a medical professional and don't just assume what they're telling us. Many EKG monitors are FDA approved and have gone rigorous testing to ensure that they are safe for the general public. Along with that, many EKG monitors are specifically endorsed by cardiology specialists, proving that they're even more accurate or better to use. Many basic EKG monitors can cost about $100 to $150. More advanced EKG monitors can cost up to several hundreds of dollars. So if you're planning on purchasing an EKG monitor, it's important to consider what you want to use it for and your price range, your budget, and what you want to use it for. EKG monitors are very safe and easy to use devices. However, misinterpretation of the results of these EKG monitors can lead to unnecessary anxiety as well as false reassurance. Various clinical trials highlight the importance and the use of personal EKG monitors, especially in those that have heart risk and things like that, in detecting heart disease and heart conditions early on. Professionals say that when it comes to heart conditions, early detection is best, and you can get the best diagnosis or the best treatment when you're detected early and you start treatment early on. EKG monitors are a valuable tool for monitoring heart health. They can be accurate, they're FDA approved, and can be affordable. It is important that you use the results from the EKG monitors as a supplement to physician's advice and medical advice rather than a replacement for medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional when it comes to treatment and proper diagnosis, but thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Forbes, and I'm doing a video on red light therapy for the Improve Life PLLC summer internship. I'm not endorsing these products or providing medical advice, simply reporting on my research. Red light therapy is when red and infrared light is applied to the skin. A device such as a display of red LEDs is applied directly to the skin for this therapy. 670 nanometers approximately is the wavelength that is used for this therapy, and it penetrates about 5 centimeters into the skin. Red light stimulates the release of nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator, which in turn increases oxygenation in blood flow by increasing the diameter of the blood vessels. Other vasoactive substances are also released, which in turn increases the local vasodilation effect. Increased blood flow lowers localized pain because more oxygen is available to these areas. Nitric oxide also increases nerve function, which helps with pain as well. Red light therapy also targets cytochrome C of the electron transport chain in mitochondria. This helps the mitochondria produce more ATP more efficiently and acts essentially as a low-grade photosynthesis for the body. Red light also activates a wide range of transcription factors that are used to increase cell healing. It also lowers inflammatory markers, which means reduced inflammation where the red light is hitting the skin, thus reduced pain as well, as pain is often caused by inflammation. Resolvins are also produced from the initial interaction of red light and the brief acute inflammation that occurs, but resolvins hasten wound healing, especially in chronic wounds such as diabetic ulcers. Therapeutic uses for red light therapy include cardioprotective uses because it releases nitric oxide from hemoglobin and myoglobin and helps break down blood clots. It protects neuron function. It heals chemotherapy-induced mucositis. It stimulates collagen and fibroblast production, which helps increase the longevity of your skin. It reduces inflammation across a wide range of body parts, including the brain, muscles, and abdominal fat. Helps with chronic inflammation such as arthritis and acne. The FDA has approved red light therapy for pain relief, but most at-home devices are considered FDA cleared because it is a low-risk device that is similar to other FDA-approved devices. Companies such as Theralite produce large red light therapy beds that look like a tanning bed but are completely red light therapy. The chiropractor that I go to, Glide Chiropractic, has one of these red light therapy machines, and I've used it multiple times. And it feels like sitting out in the sun for about 10 minutes, but without the harsh UV rays that might produce sunburns. Other smaller at-home red light therapy products are formed for specific body parts, such as calves or ankles, and they are smaller devices with an array of LEDs. This is considered a very safe therapy as it's not non-invasive and it's just light that is not harmful or cancer-causing. But there are some contraindications, such as being pregnant or having certain skin conditions and being on photosensitive drugs. But overall, this is red light therapy, and it is very interesting.
Today, I'm going to talk about NeuroPace, but before I begin, I want to mention that this is for a class assignment, and I am no way endorsed by any company for these statements. NeuroPace is a responsive neurostimulation, or RNS device, used to reduce seizure frequency in drug-resistant focal epilepsy patients over 18 years old. Focal epilepsy refers to the type of epilepsy that arises from a specific location or foci within the brain. It is the most common type of epilepsy diagnosed, and approximately 1/3 of epilepsy patients do not respond to anti-epileptic drugs or are deemed drug-resistant. This places an imminent need for alternative therapeutic options, and NeuroPace aims to provide a solution. The device works by constantly monitoring brain activity for unusual brainwave patterns indicative of seizures through implanted leads. Prior to onset, the device sends out an electrical pulse to interrupt seizure activity and prevent the seizure from occurring in the patient. As a result, this does require neurosurgery. During the surgery, neurosurgeons implant leads in the brain region responsible for the patient's seizures, and the connected stimulator device is hidden underneath the scalp. However, it cannot be felt by the patient. The total cost of implantation can cost between $35,000 to $50,000, which isn't quite affordable. However, fortunately, it is typically covered by most private and government insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, especially given its medical necessity. The device has shown impressive results, which have gained recognition in prominent scientific journals throughout the years, such as Epilepsia and Neurology. For example, more than 60% of patients who receive the device experience seizure freedom from after 3 to 6 years. It's also important to note that despite its success, there are associated adverse side effects, especially due to the required surgery, which can cause a small risk for infection or bleeding at the surgical site. Additional dangers of NeuroPace include interaction with implemented cardiac devices, adverse tissue reaction, chronic tissue stimulation, erosion, lead migration, and electromagnetic interference. Consequently, it's important for patients with the device to care for it properly and inform physician of its presence for appropriate care and avoid settings which may cause interference. Beyond seizure intervention, the implant's constant monitoring provides physicians with helpful, detailed EEG statistics about the patient's brain activity throughout the day, which can be used to gain insight into their specific epilepsy and adjust treatment plans accordingly for more personalized care. NeuroPace is FDA approved and used through several hospital systems currently, such as the Inova Epilepsy Center. In fact, it's currently the only FDA-approved epilepsy intervention device and was granted pre-market approval in 2013. Additionally, it received approval for MRI labeling in 2020. NeuroPace has the longest and largest prospective neuromodulation trial for epilepsy. A 9-year clinical trial published in Neurology found that approximately 3/4 of patients achieved at least 50% seizure reduction, and 1/3 of patients achieved at least 90% seizure reduction post-implantation at the 9-year mark. The median seizure reduction at 9 years was 75%, and it's also important to note that the quality of life was significantly improved and sustained throughout the 9-year period, demonstrating its clinical significance. Currently, the company is undergoing clinical trials for usage in teens between 12 to 17 years old with drug-resistant focal epilepsy, as well as expanding its usage as an RNS system for people with idiopathic generalized epilepsy in patients over 12 years old. Overall, NeuroPace seems to be a trailblazer within its field and offers promise to drug-resistant epilepsy patients who have exhausted other treatment options. However, it's also important to consider its costs and side effects as we move forward. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jade Gordino and I will be reviewing the medical device, the Owlet Sock. I did not buy this item and this review is for a class assignment, so no one is paying me to make this video. The Owlet Smart Sock is advertised as a comfortable sock for babies between the ages of 1 to 18 months and 6 to 30 pounds to monitor their health and sleep. More specifically, the sock measures pulse rate, oxygen levels, when they wake up, and their sleep cycles. This is also conveyed on the app of the parent's phone. They will also notify the parent if there are any concerns with low oxygen levels or pulse rate. The Owlet Dream Sock is approved by the FDA and proves to have little to no danger or potential harm for the baby. In terms of affordability, on their website they are selling it for $299, which is slightly pricey, but given the technology, it may be justifiable. I believe this product overall does fulfill what it says it can do, which is ultimately relieve parents of anxiety or stress when their baby is sleeping and better monitor their health stats. Some potential cons of this item, seen from reviews, is that the sensors in the sock may go bad and it is a bit of a pricey item given the longevity of the product being only a few years. A JAMA article called, quote, Accuracy of Pulse Oximetry-Based Home Baby Monitors cites that through their studies, in comparison to other home baby monitors, the Owlet Sock had 0 instances of falsely displaying bradycardic pulse rates and detected hypoxemia. However, they also mentioned to, quote, exercise caution incorporating data from these monitors into medical decisions, unquote. Overall, I believe that the benefits of the Owlet Sock outweigh some of the cons, and it is a helpful medical device, especially to new parents of infants. Therefore, I would rate this product a 4.5 out of 5, which is also the average rating online as well.
I'm going to be talking about the Monarch ETNS system, and just a disclaimer, this is just for a classroom assignment. I am not sponsored by this company in any way, shape, or form. The Monarch ETNS system is the first FDA-cleared device for ADHD with proven efficacy in alleviating ADHD symptoms. This treatment is targeted towards children ages 7 through 12 who don't take prescription medication for ADHD. The device is roughly the size of a cell phone, and it connects to a small disposable patch that is placed on the child's forehead at bedtime. Once turned on, the device sends a low, stimulating pulses through the trigeminal nerve through the patch. The trigeminal nerve has branches that terminate close to the skin surface just above the eyebrows. This nerve is a significant pathway to brain regions associated with attention, mood, and self-control. Using mild, stimulating pulses delivered to the nerve through the skin, the Monarch ETNS system increases activity in these key brain regions. Brain imaging studies have documented these effects. The device performance was tested in 2 clinical trials, and both trials demonstrated a significant improvement in the ADHD rating scale just after 4 weeks. Overall, I would rate this product a solid 8 out of 10 just because of how expensive it is. The device retails for around $1,000 and it is not yet covered by insurance companies. Due to this drastic price, parents may be hesitant to use this system as opposed to more feasible alternatives such as medication.
Hi, my name is Marissa Mazzari, and I am an intern for the Improve Life Pete LLC. Today, I will be talking to you about a medical device designed to improve mental health, known as AlphaStim Cranial Electrotherapy Stimulation. Before I begin, this video is for a class assignment and no company is paying me. Unfortunately, I do not have an AlphaStim with me here today, but I will show you some photos from their website so you can have a better understanding of how the technology works. As you can see, it's a small device that delivers microcurrents through the ear clips that attach to the earlobes. The microcurrent is painless and stimulates the brain to produce more chemicals like serotonin, which is the body's feel-good chemical. Simultaneously, the AlphaStim calms parts of the brain that process fear, thus soothing mental health disorders. There are two types of AlphaStim devices, the AlphaStim M, which provides relief from anxiety, insomnia, and depression, and pain quickly and safely, as well as the AlphaStim Aid, which stands for anxiety, insomnia, and depression, and it treats the same things except for pain. The AlphaStim M is approved to treat acute, chronic, and post-traumatic pain. The AlphaStim is FDA cleared for anxiety, insomnia, and pain only, with approval for depression outside of the United States. After thoroughly researching the product, I would rate the AlphaStim a 9 out of 10. I think it's great how it can treat anxiety and depression without medications, because this alleviates the issue of lasting side effects, complications, as well as the risk for addiction. Despite ranging from $840 to $1,299, the AlphaStim is cheaper than medications. The cost of medications can add up when you need them long-term, while the AlphaStim is a one-time purchase. However, insurance doesn't always cover the cost of the AlphaStim. Not only is the AlphaStim less expensive than medications, but it is also more effective in treating anxiety, depression, insomnia, and pain compared to drugs. Even better, you will need your AlphaStim less over time as each treatment builds on the effects of the previous treatment. With medications, there's a risk of becoming dependent on it. The AlphaStim is not dangerous in the fact that there is no risk of overuse and no harmful interactions with medications or other treatment methods you may be using. A study appearing in the November-December 2022 edition of Personalized Medicine in Psychiatry concluded that electrotherapy stimulation for the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder exhibited an excellent safety profile with no adverse effects. The only dangers reported occurred in less than 1% of patients using the AlphaStim who experience headaches, mild skin reactions from the electrodes or ear clips, or dizziness from the setting being too high. The device has been modified with built-in safety features to ensure it is always working properly. Therefore, these experiences are less likely to occur in today's world. Additionally, the AlphaStim is easy to use and it isn't a big time commitment. All you have to do is use it for about 20 minutes to an hour every day, every other day, or 3 times a week, depending on what your doctor prescribes or how severe your case is. You can even take it with you when you travel, making it very convenient. While the AlphaStim is not suitable for people with cardiac pacemakers and implanted defibrillators, it is safe for pregnant women. I think this is an especially important aspect since many pregnant mothers may become very stressed and this could help them a lot. Children can also use the AlphaStim Aid with adult supervision. So, does the AlphaStim really work? Clinical trials show that AlphaStim Aid can help relieve anxiety symptoms. Patients often experience relief immediately and the effects can last for hours or days. Randomized sham-controlled trials have reported improved anxiety and depression symptoms. However, no sham-controlled trials in major depression are available. Insomnia may improve after the first treatment, but it can take up to 4 weeks to see a significant change. Some say they experience pain reduction during a single treatment, and the effects can last for about 24 hours. A study found that people who use AlphaStim experienced more than a 3-fold decrease in anxiety symptoms and a 12-fold decrease in depressive symptoms. In new trials conducted by the NHS, 63% of patients saw an improvement in anxiety symptoms, while 77 of 161 participants achieved total remission. I really enjoyed learning about the AlphaStim, and I hope you did too.
Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about VR therapy devices. So according to VR Psychotherapy Overview, this product is used to help with treating different issues, including anxiety-related conditions like OCD or other mental health disorders like eating disorders. According to the FDA, one specific VR therapy device that is approved is Ease VRX. This VR treatment program focuses on helping patients with chronic lower back pain. Chronic lower back pain is also tied to anxiety and depression. There are normally around 56 sessions that are between 2 to 16 minutes long. The overall program is around 8 weeks long, and the goal is to reduce this chronic pain. According to TalkToMira.com, on average, VR therapy costs anywhere between $49.45 to $77 per week, or about $198 to $310 each month. Yet, the cost may vary depending on whether you have discounts or are using your HSA or using FSA to pay the costs. According to NIH, a study was done with 73 people who met the criteria. 7 were found to have worsening symptoms with the VR devices, and 21 people had gotten cyber sickness. Otherwise, the majority, 45, hadn't really mentioned any other side effects. According to the NIH, the original development of this VR device occurred in the 1950s and the 1960s. Morton Heilig invented the Sensorama in 1957, where the focus was on engaging the user's senses, giving them this multi-sensory experience. In 1961, HeadSight was developed for motion tracking, which was primarily used in the military. Ivan Sutherland created the Ultimate Display, which dealt with interaction with VR in 1965. So this was kind of earlier on. According to Frontiers, they actually conducted a literature overview of VR treatment of psychiatric disorders and found that these devices were helpful with behavioral and cognitive changes. Though patients who suffer with higher stress levels and chronic pain were able to put good use to these devices, there were some side effects like motion sickness and dry eyes. So, identifying these modifications and making these changes would need to be dealt with for this device in the future.
Hello everyone, my name is Milson Tapoku. I am a pre-health intern at Improved Life PLLC, and a medical device that most intrigues me is the glucometer. A glucometer is a medical device used to measure the concentration of glucose in the blood. This instrument is particularly used among patients with diabetes to help track and record their glucose levels, to see their overall A1C levels, and I believe one of the most reliable glucometer instruments would be the Freestyle Libre and using the app NutriSense glucometers. Starting off with the instrument itself, the Freestyle Libre. This instrument is a continuous glucose monitor, meaning that it's able to continuously monitor one's glucose without having to constantly puncture one's finger in order to get blood or doing, as we would call, traditional strip reading glucometers. Research done by Ronald Bragg, Sidra Alba, and Christine Casarino has shown that this device demonstrated accurate performance across a glycemic range during the 14-day sensor wear period. So yes, this device is deemed as very accurate and reliable, especially for those with diabetes. Some pros with using the NutriSense is that they provide patients with a dietitian to help patients track their blood sugar levels and also be able to track their food log to see how they can also help them lose weight. Another pro is that the Freestyle Libre device is also FDA approved. This is an amazing app and program, but there are some cons associated with using NutriSense. One con is the data loss, as the sensor retains only about 8 hours worth of information, so a user would have to scan at least 3 times a day in order to save and to ensure that they have saved their data. Another issue is accessibility, as pairing the CGM with NutriSense, it will cost about $225 per month for a 12-month period, and which is not accessible to most patients, although the Freestyle Libre systems are widely covered by Medicare. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you're able to learn a bit more about glucometers, especially the Freestyle Libre, pairing it with NutriSense. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Molly Wilhelm, and I'm a summer intern at Improve Life PLLC with Dr. Waggle. Today I'm going to be providing my insight on the Apollo Neuro Wearable, a medical device which is supposed to help with mental wellness and sleep. The Apollo Neuro is a wearable device used as a wristband or an anklet designed to improve the state of your nervous system. This includes your sleep, your relaxation, your energy levels, and your focus. It does this by detecting biometric data via sensors on the band. Most notably, it calculates one's HRV, or heart rate variability, which is the measure of variation of time between each heartbeat. HRV is telling of the state of your autonomic nervous system. The Apollo Neuro takes the data and delivers vibrations to mimic natural heart rate rhythms and trigger a parasympathetic response to help regulate the nervous system. Higher vibrations are for energy and focus improvement, and lower vibrations are for stress reduction and sleep. Because the Apollo Neuro falls under the category of a wellness device, which is considered low risk, it does not have to be FDA approved to be sold, unlike other medical devices such as pacemakers or hearing aids. That said, with any product, it is still reasonable to be wary of safety concerns. Well, its manufacturer does meet the quality system regulation for medical devices sold in the US. Additionally, it is a non-invasive device which only delivers small vibrations, which are considered low risk, so as long as the device is not placed over top an injury, you're most likely going to be fine. The device is created by neuroscientists and board-certified physicians, cites many articles of scientific research on the website, and has had multiple clinical trials conducted. However, these articles are not linked to the Apollo Neuro specifically, and the trials were on very small scales with less than 50 participants in each one, and they're not published in peer-reviewed medical journals. The Apollo Neuro retails for roughly $350. While it can help you train your body to regulate your HRV better, it works best when used alongside other mental health treatments. Additionally, skepticism is still prevalent about whether its effects are merely the placebo effect. So, in conclusion, I personally do not think the Apollo Neuro is worth the large sum of money it costs until further, larger scale trials have been conducted and more research on the device has been published. And in the meantime, seeking other treatments, such as learning coping skills to help with anxiety or stress levels, may be more adequate. Thank you.
In this video, I'm going to be reviewing BrainSpan, an at-home testing device. BrainSpan is a cutting-edge home testing device that combines genetic testing and blood marker identifiers to identify predisposition to neurological disorder, as well as provide a comprehensive review of brain performance. This device is easy to use and low cost, providing maximum efficiency and results. The BrainSpan experience begins by ordering the kit on brainspan.com, and it is easily shipped straight to your doorstep. This kit includes proper tools to take a small blood sample and a swab to collect DNA from inside the Jeep. Once both samples are collected, they are packaged up and sent to the lab with the included prepaid shipping label. Participants will receive the results via an online portal. These results include a detailed blood matrix which shows various levels of nutrients that relate to how well our brain is functioning, such as omega-3. Understanding one's levels could allow patients to take a more holistic approach into their healthcare. BrainSpan's genetic testing also allows participants to get ahead and prepare for predisposed neurological disorders before they begin. Included in the portal is a series of tailored advice and further steps based on one's results.
This device is extremely useful for everyone in various age ranges and most importantly beneficial for those who are experiencing neurological issues. This test is something I personally would provide for my patients if I was a provider in the mental health field. It is also FDA approved. It is fairly new, so not many studies have been performed, but the company has seen an extreme benefit to this product. I would rate this product a 9 out of 10, and I would recommend it for Dr. Waggle's practice.
Hello, my name is Sarah Faith, and I'm a pre-health professional intern for Improve Life PLLC. I'm here today to discuss the CPAP machine. Before I begin, I want to disclaim that this is strictly for an internship assignment and no company has hired me to discuss their product. CPAP, or continuous positive airway pressure machines, help regulate a person's breathing when they're asleep. These machines are used for patients with sleep apnea, a condition where there are continuous interruptions to airways during sleep. Sleep apnea can cause long-term damage to the body of a patient if left untreated, due to a lack of oxygen traveling to the brain. There are a couple different types of CPAP machines, but they are all very effective in treating sleep apnea and have few side effects for patients. Some patients reported a burning sensation in older models, but this proved to be resolved by using warm distilled water for machines that require water for use. CPAPs are FDA approved and classified as a Class II medical device, making them relatively accessible for the general populace. However, they are only available via prescription from a physician. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine also endorses them. According to the Sleep Foundation, CPAP machines cost around $500 to $1,000, but this depends on a patient's insurance. CPAP machines were invented in Australia in the early 1980s, with the original experiments being on dogs that also suffered from obstructive sleep issues. The original experimenter, Dr. Sullivan, took a vacuum, reversed the flow of the air, and found that it helped his dog sleep better at night. That information was used to make the development of the first CPAP machine, which have evolved into the tiny portable machines we have today. Overall, due to its strong efficacy in targeting obstructive sleep apnea, I would rate CPAP machines 4.25 out of 5 stars. The only thing that would make it a 5 out of 5 is being a bit more affordable to the average citizen. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamaya, and today I will be rating the inhaler sensor from Propeller. Disclaimer, this review is for an internship assignment and I'm not being sponsored by Propeller for anything I say. I also do not actually have a Propeller sensor. I'm simply saying this based on research and other reviews that I found online. So, let's get right into it. According to GoodRx, Propeller is an FDA-approved smart sensor that you can attach to almost any traditional inhaler. I was unable to find any information about the cost of a Propeller sensor on their website. However, I did find a PBS News article that stated that a Propeller sensor costs approximately $300 per unit. And this is quite expensive considering that your average inhaler is only going to cost you around $5 to $60. However, you are able to submit a medical bill to your insurance and they may or may not cover it, so there's that. In order to get started, your healthcare provider will have to enroll you to use the device. So you cannot buy a Propeller sensor without your healthcare provider's approval. The Propeller website states that its sensors helps patients to control their asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease by reminding you to take your medication. It also shows trends about how you use your inhaler. It alerts your family and physician if your condition is worsening, and it also helps to discover your environmental triggers. So that last point that I just mentioned about discovering your environmental triggers is a feature that is unique to the Propeller sensor. There aren't really any other inhaler sensors on the market that can do that. All these features are meant to help patients follow the treatment plan and ultimately find ways to help them breathe better. A research article called "The Interim Results of the Impact of Digital Health Intervention on Asthma Healthcare Utilization" was published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology.
And this study collected data from 330 patients to compare their asthma control habits before and after using the Propeller sensors and app. They found that this digital health intervention significantly reduced the number of asthma-related emergency room visits and hospitalizations. Additionally, there was an increase in asthma-related clinic visits, suggesting that providers were more frequently addressing their patients' concerns before their asthma progressed into a more serious condition. Moving on to my thoughts about the usefulness of this product, I really like how the Propeller website is super easy to navigate and provides answers to basically all the questions that you can have about the sensor and the app, making the learning curve really easy. The Propeller app itself is really easy to navigate and really, it's not really cluttered, it's very sleek and easy to use. And as a forgetful person myself, I would really appreciate the alarms and phone notifications that the sensors set off every time you're supposed to take your medication. So I believe if you're a forgetful person or you're having a really hard time adhering to your inhaler regime, then I believe this app would be really useful in giving those reminders and alarms to not only you, but you can also add family members onto that, and it can really help you adhere to your treatment plan. It's also cool how the app is able to take data from just a few weeks and keep you updated about what weather conditions can worsen your asthma. And being able to share all of this information with your doctor in such a convenient way is really useful in managing someone's asthma. So I think that's really helpful, just having all this information in one app where your doctor can easily access it and discuss your treatment plan with you. One issue I do think there is, I've seen lots of complaints like on the App Store in the reviews that there's problems with the app and the sensors not being in sync. So basically somebody will take some puffs and they won't show up in the app until a few hours later. So also I found that the batteries that come on the sensors only last for 1 year, so you'd have to replace that yearly. You'd have to replace the sensors yearly, which can also be quite inconvenient. But however, I do think this is very useful for those who have trouble remembering to take their prescribed puffs and those who would like to learn about their environmental triggers. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taryn Hybrex, and in today's video I will be discussing an at-home medical device called apnea monitors. For clarification, I do not own this product or have purchased it for this assignment. I'm also recording this review for a class assignment, and I'm not being endorsed by the product or a specific company. I chose this product because when I was a child, I was unable to leave the hospital for about 3 months after I was born because I was unable to breathe on my own, and I actually used an apnea monitor for a couple months after I came home for the first time. For reference, I had enlarged tonsils and adenoids, which ended up creating a 96% blockage of my airway, which had to be removed when I was older through surgery. An apnea monitor is a monitor used for newborn babies that track their heart rate and breathing at home and sets off an alarm if breathing or heart rate issues occur. Apnea is where you have breathing irregularities, mostly while you are sleeping, but for some people, like myself, you can experience this throughout the day. This device was introduced by Dr. William J. R. Daly and Dr. Belton Mayer around the mid-1960s in hospital settings. Around the 1970s is when these devices were created for at-home use. Parents may want to consider this product if their child is suffering from ongoing apnea, has severe reflux, or needs to be placed on an oxygen machine at home. Fortunately for new parents who may be stressed about any issues with their newborn child, most healthcare companies will provide you with the assistance by coming to your home to set up the device, teach you how to use it, and are on call for your every need. Insurance also covers the cost of this product if recommended by a healthcare provider. This machine involves stick-on patches connected to electrodes which connect to a machine to measure the variables. This product has had no bad reviews in terms of reliability and accurate marketing. However, there is a common misconception that this product can be used to prevent SIDS, which is a myth and should be handled in other aspects. It is not considered a dangerous product, and there have been no cases of hazard when involved with babies or other adults. This product is approved under a Class 2 Special Controls Guidance document for industry and FDA issued in 2002. Healthcare companies must also approve of this product before they sponsor it to their clients. All of the information found in this video is found under the FDA document mentioned previously, as well as medlineplus.gov, which is an official website of the United States government. So, in conclusion, parents should consider getting this product for their kids if they have suffered from breathing issues because of the clean record of the product and the support given by hospitals, healthcare companies, insurance companies, and more. Thank you.
Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about a medical device called the otoscope, and just as a disclaimer before I begin, I'm not a medical professional and this is for a class assignment, so I don't have the device with me and I'm not being endorsed by any company to review this product. But to get started, does this device actually do what it says it's going to do? I'd say yes, because a lot of us have seen this device when we go for a physical exam or yearly checkup, and practitioners are using it to examine the ear. They look through a magnifying glass and the light is shining through the ear canal, and it does help them see into our ears, so overall it does do what it says it's going to do. The device is approved by the FDA, but also approval depends on the brand or manufacturer that's making these otoscopes, so it depends on that mainly, but yes, most brands are approved by the FDA. The price range I've seen is like an average of around a little bit above $20. However, on Amazon, I've seen that the price ranges from anywhere to like $10-ish to over $100 as well. As for danger, I'd say overall, the otoscope is not dangerous. However, a source that I found did say that if not used correctly, it could potentially hurt your eardrum because practitioners are putting this device to examine your ear. And then some statistics about the device. Actually, the idea was from the 1300s. However, the first prototype came about maybe 3 to 4 centuries later, and it looked very different from today's otoscope, and these prototypes were made in Germany. But overall, I don't think I'm qualified enough yet to give a rating on this medical device, but since it does do its purpose and it does have low risk, I would give it maybe like a 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Venkat, and today I will be reviewing and talking about prosthetic legs. So I don't have a prosthetic leg, and I don't know anyone who has a prosthetic leg, but I will be doing this review based on how impactful a prosthetic leg can be in someone's life, how expensive they are, and what kinds of patients can get them. So patients who usually don't want to get a prosthetic leg are patients with heart problems, respiratory problems, or poor physical endurance and strength. These patients will find the prosthetic leg hard to use and a burden, and so they are better off without it. Patients who do benefit from prosthetic legs, though, are patients like young children with congenital limb loss or disfiguration, or young adults and children who have lost a limb and had it amputated. Prosthetic legs are very good because they can help people not lose the lifestyle that they had before and help children grow up normally, and that is very, very impactful. And having a second leg or having functional legs is very, very important to living a high quality life. And so because of the quality of life benefit that prosthetic legs provide, they are very, very impactful and very, very useful. However, prosthetic legs are very expensive. The price usually ranges from $10,000 to $70,000. And because of this hefty price, a lot of people may choose not to get a prosthetic leg because of how expensive it is. Considering all of these benefits and disbenefits, though, I think that prosthetic legs are a bit situational and quite expensive, but extremely impactful and very useful and relatively flexible across patients. And so for this reason, I rate them an 8 out of 10. Have a nice day, and thank you for watching.